BTS's exhaustion and mounting industry pressure in a shocking turn of events that has sent tremors across the global entertainment industry. HYBE Corporation, home to the world-renowned group BTS, was unexpectedly raided by South Korean authorities in the early hours of the morning. As law enforcement officials stormed HYBE's Seoul headquarters with sealed documents and boxes of confiscated data, fans worldwide were left asking one burning question: what exactly is being hidden behind the glittering curtain of K-pop's most powerful label? The raid, which has yet to be fully explained by officials, comes at a time of increasing concern about the mental, emotional, and physical toll borne by BTS members, particularly in the wake of a series of cryptic social media posts, subtle gestures during public appearances, and, most recently, a startling personal revelation from the group's leader, RM. "It's not what people think it is," RM reportedly said during a quiet, off-schedule appearance at a closed-door art exhibit in Seoul. "We've been holding on longer than we should have. We're not machines." The words, simple but devastating, have reignited intense public scrutiny over the real conditions behind the image of BTS as tireless global icons. And with HYBE's ongoing legal entanglements, increasing media blackouts, and now a full-scale police investigation, many are beginning to question: has the relentless pursuit of perfection come at a catastrophic cost? Though the exact nature of the allegations remains undisclosed, early reports suggest that the authorities were acting on whistleblower evidence involving internal records, artist management contracts, and, most disturbingly, medical reports allegedly ignored or suppressed by top-level executives. Sources with knowledge of the matter have hinted at a pattern of exhaustion-based neglect, raising alarming questions about whether members of BTS have been quietly overworked beyond acceptable limits. Physically and psychologically, fans have long celebrated BTS's work ethic, their consistency, and their seemingly unshakable professionalism. But over the past year, cracks have begun to appear in the carefully polished image. Taehyung's extended absence from public engagements was initially brushed off as personal time. Jungkook's recent visible weight loss and increasing silence on live streams had been dismissed as artistic preparation. But following the raid, every silence now seems loaded. Every vague post suddenly feels like a coded cry for help. The atmosphere around HYBE's central building today was thick with unease. Staff members arrived in silence, some avoiding eye contact with reporters, while others were seen visibly distressed. Meanwhile, a group of devoted armies formed a quiet vigil near the gates, holding handwritten signs that read, "Protect BTS and not just idols, they're human too." The raid appears to be just the tip of the iceberg. Internal sources, speaking under strict anonymity, allege that behind closed doors, BTS members have faced mounting restrictions, creative, personal, and even medical. There were days, one source claimed, when they weren't allowed to speak up about their exhaustion. They had a smile on camera while barely able to stand. This isn't the first time questions about idol treatment have surfaced in the K-pop industry. But with BTS at the center of this unfolding storm, the scale is unprecedented. The world isn't just watching, they're demanding answers. For RM, long seen as the spokesperson and emotional anchor of BTS, this moment has become a breaking point. His recent statements have taken a darker, more introspective tone. "You see only the light," he said in an Instagram story that was deleted within minutes. "But we've been walking through shadows for longer than you know." What's more concerning is the pattern of mental health signals fans have traced throughout the group's recent appearances. Jin, despite his usual composure, appeared uncharacteristically absent-minded during a military handover ceremony. Jimin's interviews have taken on a guarded tone, carefully sidestepping direct questions about group dynamics or company plans. Even Suga, once known for his candid takes on fame and hardship, has gone unusually quiet. And then, there's the question no one wants to ask aloud. What if BTS is not just exhausted, but exploited As public outcry grows louder, many are directing their frustration toward HYBE's upper management, who have remained notably silent since the raid. The company's official channels have offered no clear explanation, leaving a vacuum filled by speculation, fear, and intensifying calls for transparency. Journalists attempting to reach HYBE's legal team have been met with automated responses. Former staff members, now speaking freely under conditions of anonymity, describe a culture of silence where questioning decisions, especially about BTS, was seen as disloyalty. Everything was about protecting the brand, one former employee revealed, even if it meant ignoring real problems. Perhaps the most damning detail emerged late last night as an anonymous internal report began circulating among industry insiders. The report allegedly outlines several documented cases where BTS members requested medical rest but were denied or pressured into fulfilling schedules anyway. While the report's authenticity is still under review, its mere existence has already sent shockwaves through entertainment circles. The timing of this crisis couldn't be more critical. With military enlistments staggering BTS's group activities, fans had hoped for a respectful period of rest and artistic reflection. Instead, what has emerged is a disturbing portrait of burnout, surveillance, and suppression. Some industry analysts argue that HYBE, in its drive to expand globally, has inadvertently commodified its most valuable artists to the point of collapse. The company's acquisition of international labels, its pivot to AI-driven content, and the explosion of merchandising deals have all pointed toward an empire in aggressive growth mode. But empires, as history teaches us, often implode from within. In a particularly harrowing moment, a fan-captured video from earlier this month resurfaced online, showing RM leaving a rehearsal space late at night, visibly exhausted, his head lowered, whispering to someone off camera, "I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this." At the time, it was brushed off as a bad day. Today, it feels like a warning. An clear path forward has been outlined by either HYBE or BTS representatives. But one thing is certain, the global conversation has shifted. No longer content with curated images and cryptic social media posts, fans are demanding truth and justice. What else has been hidden behind those billion-dollar contracts? At the heart of the matter is a deepening concern for the well-being of 7 individuals who changed the course of music history. They are no longer just idols. They are case studies in the costs of unchecked fame, of corporations grown too large, of systems that reward silence over safety. As the investigation into HYBE deepens and RM's confessions continue to spark reflection, the world waits for what comes next. Will this be a turning point for artist protection in South Korea's entertainment industry? Or merely another scandal swept under the rug by corporate damage control? Continuation, a call for critical reflection. What is real and what is fabricated? In light of the staggering revelations surrounding HYBE, the exhaustion of BTS members, and RM's quietly devastating confessions, the public now stands at a crossroads, to believe or not to believe. The gravity of these developments demands not just attention, but deep scrutiny. Are we witnessing the unmasking of a corporate empire built on artistic labor, or are we being manipulated by a wave of sensational content engineered to provoke and mislead? Before drawing conclusions, we must pause and examine the nature of the information itself. Much of what has surfaced, from the leaked video of RM to the anonymous staff testimonies to the supposed internal reports, is being widely disseminated on platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and a host of unverified media sources. Are these glimpses into a hidden reality, or merely fragments crafted to stir outrage and virality? How do we distinguish truth from fabrication when the lines between exposure and exploitation blur so dangerously? Consider the timing. The raid on HYBE, though reported by multiple social media channels, has yet to be confirmed through formal legal documents released to the public. RM's alleged statements, heartbreaking as they may seem, originated from clips taken out of context, stripped of surrounding nuance, and delivered in formats designed for maximum emotional impact. Could it be that we are not seeing the full picture? Are we merely consuming what the algorithms feed us, wrapped in headlines meant to enrage, not to inform? These questions are not just rhetorical. They are urgent. We live in an age where virality often trumps validity. TikTok edits showcasing Jungkook's silence or Jimin's body language are immediately framed as proof of corporate abuse. But can we responsibly draw such sweeping conclusions from 5-second clips? Can we trust anonymous insiders whose identities we cannot verify, especially when their claims are amplified without scrutiny? This is not to say that BTS is immune from exploitation. On the contrary, the possibility that such influential figures may have been subjected to unrelenting pressure under a corporate structure driven by profit is deeply troubling. But that very concern must be tempered with responsibility. Shouldn't we, as a global audience, demand facts before outrage? Or have we become addicted to drama disguised as justice? Ask yourself, do you truly believe everything you see online? What if this narrative, HYBE's downfall, BTS's suffering, RM's cries for help, is being molded to fit a storyline that draws attention, clicks, and advertising revenue? What if the content creators circulating this information are themselves part of a larger cycle of monetized sensationalism? Or perhaps worse, what if there is truth at the core of all this, but it is being distorted for maximum emotional manipulation? By amplifying only the most shocking fragments, are we helping or harming the very people we claim to support? Let us not forget that the members of BTS are human beings, not characters in screenplay. Every rumor we repeat, every leaked video we consume, feeds into a system where their real lives are dissected like fiction. And that raises another uncomfortable question. Have we, the audience, become complicit in their exhaustion? It is disturbingly easy to reduce RM's whispered confessions to content. It is just as easy to transform Suga's silence into a storyline, or to turn Taeyoung's withdrawal into a cliffhanger. But in doing so, are we erasing the nuance of their lived experience? Are we building a narrative that suits our emotional cravings more than their reality? We must confront these contradictions. Why is it that every time a public figure shows vulnerability, the immediate instinct is to assume exploitation? Why are we quicker to believe in a conspiracy than in a complex truth? If HYBE is guilty of unethical practices, then justice must be pursued through verifiable evidence, institutional accountability, and legal scrutiny. But if these claims are unfounded, then we are staring at something far more dangerous. A media environment that profits off of half-truths and weaponized empathy. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a responsibility to question, to investigate, to withhold judgment until we are certain. It leaves us with the task of untangling emotion from evidence, of resisting the rush to outrage in favor of rational, critical engagement. And most importantly, it reminds us of the power we wield as consumers of information. Will you take that power seriously as this story continues to unfold? We urge every reader, every fan, every skeptic to engage not just with the drama of what's being said, but with the structure behind how it's being delivered. Who benefits from your belief? Who profits from your reaction? Who controls the narrative you are being asked to accept? We do not claim to hold all the answers. In fact, we are acutely aware of the limitations of the information presented. Many of the details, despite their emotional intensity, remain unverified. The sources that circulate them are, in many cases, faceless and unaccountable. Therefore, every claim, no matter how emotionally compelling, must be treated with healthy skepticism until proven otherwise. This is not cynicism. This is responsibility. In closing, we ask again, not to provoke, but to encourage clarity. Do you believe this story because it's true, or because it feels true? Are you outraged because of facts, or because of fear? Are you supporting BTS by amplifying these reports, or might you be deepening their burden without knowing it? Let the conversation continue, but let it evolve. Let it be sharper, more demanding, more ethical. The lives and reputations at the center of this storm deserve nothing less than our fullest discernment. And above all, let us not confuse noise for truth. Let us not accept virality in place of verification. Let us not trade complexity for simplicity. And let us, as a global audience, do better.